I had to just lay in a dark room ever since like 2 o'clock because I had the worst headache ever. Technically it's still not gone away, but I have to get up soon to eat and take medication. But it was so bad, you guys. I didn't even get to go swimming today. I'll go double tomorrow because I didn't get to go today. But sometimes that happens. I got to go to the beach though, so that was nice. And I got to listen to my butt, but I think that the heat and just yesterday did me in, so that I needed to. Hey, Ma? Yeah? Okay, I just want to make sure you're here.
Yep, I'm here, baby. How are you?
Good, I'm better.
Oh, good. Did you want to go for a swim?
No.
Okay, because I would have got back. I mean, it's almost 6 o'clock.
Yeah, no, I'm good. It is almost 6 o'clock. It is.
Sleep.
5:43. Yeah, I guess I did need to sleep, huh?
I think you did, my dear.
It was just bad. The heat was annoying. Like I was.
The heat?
Yeah, I don't know. My head.
You mean outside?
Yeah, I think it was like really annoying.
Too much beach?
Sun? No, just the sun, I guess.
So, do you want a shower?
Oh, okay. Folks, Lawrenceville, Virginia. All right. That was
No, just Connecticut.
South Carolina? Oh, well. Nashville. Good. Philadelphia.
California transplant.
Say that again.
California transplant. We
I
moved
was
here
gonna say,
from
boy, you
California.
really wanted to come to the beach, didn't you? You know, they got some over there. They're not very good, but they got them. You folks?
Connecticut.
Connecticut?
Yep.
Massachusetts. Well, welcome everyone to bright sunny Myrtle Beach. We can finally say it's warm in the Myrtle Beach. How many of you have some conception of what the dance Shag looks like? If you're Southern, you have no excuse. The rest of you will understand. I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about the history of this very unique dance and the music that goes along with it. The dance actually started in the 1930s, a ballroom dance called Lindy. Now, the Lindy was different from the Latin dances, the tango, morango, samba. Those are all 4-beat dances, meaning it takes 4 beats of music to do the basic step of whichever dance. However, the Lindy was different. The Lindy had a 6-beat basic step, so there was more footwork involved. So before someone grabbed you, pulled you up the floor and tried to start dancing with you, they'd take you in a corner somewhere and teach you how to do the basic step of that dance. Now, in this day and age, when I say Lindy, many people picture taking the girl and throwing her over your shoulders and through your legs. Well, the Lindy was a white, middle-aged ballroom dance. You didn't throw too many 50-year-old women over your shoulders and through your legs. But the kids did a much more vivacious version of that dance. You could take a 16-year-old girl, you could throw her over your shoulders and through your legs. But that dance became known as the Lindy Hop. So most of the time now when someone says they're demonstrating a Lindy, what they're really demonstrating is a younger, more athletic version of the Lindy Hop. Now in the 1930s in Columbia, South Carolina, 2 blocks down Main Street from our Capitol building was an abandoned synagogue. It was turned into a black nightclub called the Big Apple. Now, the complete reversal of segregation in the South in the 1930s, only the blacks could go downstairs and dance. The whites would go up in the balcony and watch, but they couldn't participate. But a lot of the white boys from the University of South Carolina started going to this black nightclub because they did a completely different dance, different music than anything the white people did. And they used to, some of the guys used to take handfuls of nickels and throw them off the balcony down on the floor so the blacks would have plenty of money to play the jukebox. And they started picking up on these steps and moves and kind of incorporated into their own dance. Well, in 1938, a couple from Somerville, South Carolina, entered a national dance contest at the Roseland Ballroom in Manhattan. When they got out on court audition, the judges stopped them and went, "What on earth are you doing?" And I said, "Listen, we don't have ballrooms in South Carolina. We don't do those ballroom type dances. We've got cotton fields and tobacco fields, and we've got places with plywood at the beach where we dance." And they said, "Well, what do you call that?" I said, "This is the Big Apple." They named their dance in honor of the Black nightclub where they picked up all these unique steps and moves. Well, they were such a hit, they won first place in the contest, and they taught almost everyone there how to do this new dance. They ended up staying for 90 days all the way through the summer, demonstrating and teaching New Yorkers how to do this new dance called the Big Apple. The dance caught on through the Arthur Murray Studios. They didn't like that at all for some reason. Luckily, the University of South Carolina and our state archives had been interviewing all these people because they were dying off, and they put the dossier together in our state archives about the history of the dance and music. Well, somewhere at a meeting, the then governor of South Carolina made a bet with the then mayor of Manhattan that we could prove where the name Big Apple came from. They made the bet, we got everything together, and we sent it to New York. It only took them 2 years to get back to us. 2 years later, they said, well, there was a dance out of South Carolina that was really popular here, but we think the dance took the name Big Apple from Manhattan instead of the other way around. We went, oh, no, we've got the documentation. The name was down here way, way before Manhattan. So South Carolina won the bet. Guess what we won? Barbecue. You may have to be Southern to understand this. Anyway, let's talk about this place right here now, boy. In the summer, we have 350,000 people in one road. US 17, the Kings Highway. This 60-mile stretch from the North Carolina line down to Wichita Bay is now called the Grand Strand. Well, 100 years ago, it was called empty. It's a little hard to imagine, but there was nothing here. And when I say nothing here, I mean there was nothing here but pine trees. There were no roads, no bridges, and virtually no people. All this land 60 miles north to south and going back about 45 miles was all owned by a little company over in Conway Borough called the Burroughs and College Company. What they owned was hundreds of square miles of pine trees. They tapped those pine trees with tar, pitch, and turpentine. And through the 16, 17, and 1800s, almost every single wooden sailing ship in the entire eastern and Gulf Coast of the United States stayed afloat with the tar and pitch that came out of these pine trees right here. It was a filter-rich little company sitting over there in the swamps, and everything was going great up until the late 1800s with the advent of the steam engine. Most people don't realize it only took about 30 years for wooden sailing ships to all but virtually disappear once the steam engine was invented. So going to the 1900s, the Burroughs and Collins over there said, right now what do we do? All we got is pine trees. And there's been no big demand for our product anymore. But they had something else. They had a strip of sand. They built a railroad 10 miles due east. The terminus of the railroad, they built a 3-story wooden hotel called the Seaside Inn. That was in 1907, and that was the first building built along this part of the South Carolina coast. And if any of you ever went to Myrtle Beach where they had the Myrtle Beach Pavilion and the amusement park was where that was the end of the railroad, and that's where the hotel was until they tore it down to do whatever they wanted to do. Anyway, the town grew rather quickly, and by the late 1920s, they realized they needed a place for blacks to come also. So a group of 10 black doctors and lawyers in the upstate got together, and they purchased a 4-block section of beach 2 miles south of here and named it Atlantic Beach, nicknamed it Black Pearl. To this day, Atlantic Beach, South Carolina is the only fully owned black beach on the entire eastern and Gulf Coast of the United States. There's only one other, and it's in California. And this little 4-block town down here had a huge impact on the culture that grew up here over the next 90 years or so. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for Atlantic Beach, we wouldn't be sitting here talking today, because they had that much impact on us. Now, of course, during World War II, most of the soldiers went out to fight. Most of them had never been off the farm. They had no clue about that. But it didn't matter. When they got a break in the fighting, there was a woman, grab her. And they did. And they commenced to swing her all over the place. Dancing to the big band music, they did an amazingly, incredibly fast 4-beat dance called the Jitterbug. Now, I don't remember asking anybody ever danced it, but I imagine most of you have seen it. It was unbelievably fast. Actually, the guy didn't do much of nothing. But boy, he ran that woman back and forth like you wouldn't believe. It was an amazingly fast dance. Well, after World War II, people in North and South Carolina started getting cars and incomes. And back then, there were thousands of textile mills in every little town all over North and South Carolina. And they all took the week of July 4th off vacation. Well, this town was named Ocean Drive. And at one time when I was a child, we had the world's widest beach. It was so flat that when the tide went out, it went way out. I was only this high. We could walk around completely around the piers because there was no more water. It went all the way out. And we had car races just like Daytona. That's why it was called Ocean Drive. You could turn down 217, come down through the dunes, and they'd pull right up to the very edge of the water. All four doors would float, and the whole family go in the ocean. We'd have to get up off the blanket, what old girl we're talking to, go pull them out of the ocean. Here comes another car, right up to the edge of the water. And being some of the teenagers that we were back then, and lifeguards, I'll tell you that. Being teenagers, we loved going on tours. There weren't a whole lot of them. The ones who pulled their car up to the edge of the water and walked away, we really called them tourists. And we only charged them $70 a car to pull them out of the salt. We said dumb tours because they kept us fed with some purpose, as a matter of fact. But like back then, our changeover day was on Saturday. It was all cottages. And it was an unwritten rule among all the local boys. And all these towns, about every 8 blocks was a different town. And all these towns started realizing they had a big liability and they had to do something. So right after World War II, in the late 40s and early 50s, they started hiring teenage boys as lifeguards. Now, if you were a lifeguard in the Ocean Drive, you were king of this hill. At least you thought you were. These were, I say, cool teenage boys. Well, they wore Oxford cloth button-down shirts with the collars turned up. Remember that? Remember duck-tailed haircuts? Remember we had enough hair to have duck-tailed haircuts? And anybody remember peg leg pants? So that was a real cool style of dress. You remember? There was a real cool style of dress. These are cool kids. Actually, half these boys were hoodlums, but that's the side point. They had an unwritten rule among all the local boys in the lifeguards. About lunchtime Monday, you had to hook up with some girl. It didn't matter who, and it didn't even matter what she looked like. The only thing that mattered was you hooked up with a girl who stayed with a mother who cooked. So your first girl of the week was to hook up with some girl that could sneak your sandwiches all week so you wouldn't starve to death. The last thing you wanted to do was grab some girl, swing her all over the place, and sweat all over them. Because if you ever danced in one of our outdoor pavilions in June, July, and August, boy, it's hot. It's hot and it's dirty. And these cool teenage boys were trying to, they were trying to sweet talk, hook up with the girl. They didn't want to sweat all over them. The big leg pants were great. There was this style in the late 40s and early 50s. They had flaps on the front pockets and flaps on the back pockets. Pleats down the side, great big baggy legs. And where you put your foot to was about like this. Some of them we had little zippers, so they fit more tight around your ankles. And when you got down here to Robert's Pavilion with the wind coming off the ocean, the pants did most of the dancing for you because the wind was blowing, and you looked like you were really doing something. You weren't sweating, so because you were cool. Anyway, all these boys started hooking up with girls, and the last thing they wanted to do, like I said, was dance, sweat all over. So they took this real fast 4-beat jitterbug type dance, and they slowed it down like the original Lindy by adding 2 steps to the back of the basic. But by today's standards, it was still a real fast, bouncy, jumpy dance, a whole bunch of bopping up and down and kicking. But it was better than the jitterbug because you could say, "Hi, honey, where you from? What's your name? Where's your mama staying?" And then you can start hooking up with them, sweet talking a little bit. But after a few years, somebody realized that by turning aside and kicking the way we were pumping our arms in this big circle. So somebody quit turning and started kicking straight toward their partner. And in doing so, without having any idea what they were doing, they created a brand new, very unique dance. Every dance you've ever done in your life is called side to side. All of them. This is the only dance I know of in which you dance straight up and straight back in front of the partner in a swap. And that back and forth motion, as opposed to side, allowed us to come up with dozens and dozens and dozens of steps, moves, and things you can't do when you're going side to side. Also, this dance was very male-dominated. Most of the dancing you've seen all your life featured the woman. All ballroom dances feature the woman. And the guy doesn't do much to walk around with her. She goes over here and poses, and she goes over here and poses, and high heels. but you don't see a whole lot of footwork. This dance was the exact opposite. The man was the peacock. He's the one who showed off. And he's the one that did all the fancy footwork. And most people, when they see this dance for the first time, they're a little amazed because you're not used to seeing a lot of footwork. And originally this was very much a male-dominated dance. Matter of fact, when I was a kid, I used to hear the guy look at the girl and say, "Stay in your basic." Try that now and see what happens. Probably we won't get off the floor before she finishes kicking you. But now the dance has become more equal. It's more of a partner type dance. But we're going to teach you the basic step tonight, Mandy and I. And we're going to teach you the basic step. And once you learn that basic step, there's just a matter of learning the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, until you can get proficient with it. There are certain steps that everyone knows. Once they learn the basic, there's just certain steps everybody knows. We can go anywhere in North and South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, anywhere where they do this dance. We can dance with anybody that does it because we all know the same types of steps. Mandy? Mandy's my teaching partner with me. She's a past master champion, and she's a member of what we call the keepers of the dance. In the 70s and 80s, when we were getting too old to be doing this all the time, our kids took over and started learning to dance, and they kept the clubs and the music alive, so we still have a place to go. And Mandy's one of those people we call one of the keepers of the dance. And that's the kids that have grown up to adults now that we really enjoy it because they've kept our music alive. Mandy and I are going to take just a few minutes to dance for you, to give you an idea of what the dance looks like and what some of the steps look like.
I think your father was excited. This is his war. This is his cup of tea. I'm also ready for another one.
If you don't tell me no more, give me the crumbs up on the floor. And oh, my darling, I'd be satisfied. So satisfied. If you can't say love words so sweet, give me a smile each time we meet. And oh, my darling, I'd be satisfied. Yes, I'd rather have a little than a lot of someone new. 'Cause if you ever leave me, dear, I don't know what I'd do. Everyone, send me a bigger share of love. And oh, my lordy, I'd be satisfied. Yes, I'd rather have a little than love someone new. 'Cause if you ever leave me, dear, I don't know what I'd do. Send me a bigger share of love. And oh, my lordy, I'd be satisfied. Then I'd be satisfied.
Thank you very much. As you can see, nothing to it.
Stood in the class, ladies come up and get behind me on this side, guys over to my right.
You forgot to wear shoes.
You can go that way.
Two, three, four. Step back, step up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, hold it just a second. In doing this dance, you can't kind of slide through it. You got to get all the steps in there. Well, this is what I saw a couple of people doing. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Nice try. But that won't work. That puts you on the boys foot, the girls foot, the boys foot, the girls foot. That is not what you want to do. You got to get all those little steps in there. And ladies, this always amazes me. This time every single week, all these years, there's something the women do every week. Number one, this is easier for most women than it is for the guys. You're more used to music and dancing, and they're not. For the guys, it's a struggle. They have to work a lot harder. But the women pick it up faster, but there's something that happens every single week, and this is what it is to me during this thing. This is what the women have a tendency to do. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. 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 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Which is why all of you piled up back here. Back here when you started. Now, I know you're used to dragging him through the mall, but don't drag him across the dance floor. Transversal, you got a size 13 shoe, all women on earth wear it for. You cannot do a size 13 basic or a size 4 basic without slamming her up against the wall somewhere. Now, in this particular dance, unlike swing, we do not go anywhere. Swing dancing moves around, the couples move around the floor. But if you stop and think about it, swing dancing takes place in gyms and ballrooms and great big dance floors. This happens to be considered one of the largest shag dance floors around. But put 40 couples on here and see how big it is. This dance started on 2 pieces of plywood down at Robert's Pavilion. There were 30 couples. You dance like this, and had a choice but to dance like this because there's so many people. And that's one of the reasons the dance ended up in the slide. Because there were so many people on just a little bitty dance floor. Like I said, this is considered a very large dance floor for Shag Club. Like I said, you put 30 couples out here and you'll find out how small it really is. So in this particular dance, we don't go anywhere. Where we start dancing is where we finish dancing. Think back when Mandy and I danced over here a while ago, we never left that one spot before we were dancing. We never even left the slot we were dancing in. And so that's kind of what you want to aim for. So in this dance, we do not go anywhere. Now, we'll show you a little trick during those middle 3 steps of 3 and 4. We'll show you a little trick. It's going to be 2 things. Number 1, it's going to keep you from taking 3 steps back in the middle of the basic. This will keep you from taking this great big step up at the end of the basic. This is what we're going to do. So those middle 3 steps in the count is 3 and 4 on the word and. Guys, your left foot's going to be out in front, and your right foot's going to be out in front. And what we're really going to do on the word and is slide our toe about that far. That's going to be and. And that will keep you from taking 3 steps back. Now, we're going to walk around and show you what I just said. Guys, this is what I mean. Everybody, skip where you can see my left foot. I'll come back there all. This is what I mean. 1 and 2. 3 and 4. Step back, step up. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Step back, step up. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Step back, step up. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Step back, step up. 1 and 2, excuse me. 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 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 and 4, 5, 6. Doing the push and pull up and back motion. Every little thing we do affects a part of what I call the push and pull in our hand. So anything I do affects it. Just move the rope. And also, this is very important to remember. See this dance floor? This is our dance floor. That little square right there. That's what we dance in. And so, it's like you tell you don't take big steps unless you want to dance on your partner's feet. Well, this is our dance floor. And everything we do is a push and pull counterbalancing motion. Unlike swing, front 3 steps are so important in this dance because we start toward our partner and we back away. At the back of our basic, we start toward our partner again and keep going, and bam, we're on heads first into our partner. Because we've only got that much forward to dance in. And you won't get your partner in place one time. I promise you that. It hurts like ridiculous. So what we have to do, the 2 of us have to do, is to start toward our partner and immediately back away so we don't run into our partner. And we're going to do it with the first front 3 steps. Step up with your lead foot. Now, once again, small steps. Step up with your lead foot on 1. Now, the next step is the most important step in the basic. You're going to take the foot that's behind you, the lady's left foot, the guy's right foot. You're going to bring that foot a little bit in front of your lead foot. Put your weight on your toe. And like pushing on the wall, push back your lead foot. So it's going to look like 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Be sure to get that toe in front. 1 and 2. 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 1
I missed something.
We're okay, folks. This is what we're gonna do. Guys, get in a straight line. Ladies, back up about 2.5 feet from the guys, and do not hold hands. Do not hold hands. Now, this is what we're gonna do. Since we face in opposite directions and dance on opposite feet, what we're doing is considered a mirror step, meaning you and your partner should be doing the exact opposite, just as if you were looking into a mirror. Okay? I will give you a count of 3 before I start counting the basics to get everybody going at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 5, 6. 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 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 5, 6, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay. Look at your line. If you can call that a line. Straighten your lines back out and get back to where you were started. We're right. Okay, get your line straight again.
Hey, we don't go that way.
Okay, ladies, take your right hand, all 4 fingers of your right hand, reach across and hold firmly to the 2 fingers he has pointed at the bottom. All 4 fingers are going to break the finger. Now, guys, take your index finger, your pointing finger, and put it down the side of her hand, not on top, the side of her hand, and then put your thumb in between her first 2 knuckles.
Does that hurt? Looks like it hurts.
So this is how your hand.
Ma, does that hurt? No.
This is how your hand should look.
Looks like it hurts.
Hey, we don't go that way.
Okay, ladies, take your right hand, all 4 fingers of your right hand, reach across and hold firmly to the 2 fingers he has pointed at the bottom. All 4 fingers are going to break the finger. Now, guys, take your index finger, your pointing finger, and put it down the side of her hand, not on top, the side of her hand, and then put your thumb in between her first 2 knuckles.
Does that hurt? Looks like it hurts.
So this is how your hand.
Ma, does that hurt?
This
No.
is how your hand should look.
Looks like it hurts.